All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Switcher Stream Your Heart Out for the month of February. This is day 18. And I got to start out by saying, does anyone else get like those butterflies when you first go live? Every time I get them still, even though I've done it many times. Anyways, today's prompt is bring in a guest star. And I've got the star of all stars with me here today. Let me introduce, bam, there he is.
Hey, who's the star? Dan's the
Our
star.
our fearless leader Nick, here to
Oh, I'm
join me
scared
on
all the
this
time.
wonderful.
We're not doing that.
What's that? I'm gonna turn
You
your
said
volume up.
fearless leader. I said I'm scared all the time. We're not doing that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, yeah, Nick, what do you want to talk about? Anything? You want me to shoot some questions at you?
Yeah. I mean, if for those of you that don't know, Dan and I are co-founders for Switcher. Had a few other folks that were there at the beginning and big part of getting Switcher off the ground and getting to where we are today. They're off doing some really cool things now, but Dan and I are the OGs. We've been here from day one, and before Switcher, we were DJing dances and weddings. We also had a stretch where we had an agency together. We were building hundreds of websites and creating video for businesses, and that was really the thing that kind of got us thinking about uh, how we could make it easier to make better video more often. So now we got Switcher.
Yeah, we sure do. I'm pulling up the comments, see if anything comes through there. So yeah, if you guys have any questions for us, because like this is kind of the prompt was to kind of maybe interview someone So yeah, we'll interview Nick. You kind of gave like the intro. What do you have any crazy story? Like when I say like, give me something crazy from either the early days of Switcher or even before that, but like our DJing days. Anything stand out?
Oh my gosh.
Like the time that we mispronounced the bride and groom's last name at a wedding. That's always a good time.
Yeah, the wedding thing, it's wild that we went so long without having weekends. I mean, that was years and years and
Yeah.
years, and it was like, this is what we're gonna do. Is show up and show people a good time. So it was fun, but it wasn't a thing I wanted to do forever. Uh, I think, through that we were really close to a lot of different technology. Like we built our own photo booth and like the kind of mock app for that. You and I did college radio together, and we were doing audio streaming and mobile apps for that. When we first started building websites, we had just started to see like a big uptake in phones, and so the idea of a responsive website where it's going to look good on a computer and your mobile device was something that we started building for, and that's how we were getting a lot of projects early on. So it's wild how different that is than what we're doing today. But I think there were a lot of cool experiences there at the get go. I remember Bellarmine Radio. Once a year, we would have like a 24-hour
That's right.
uh,
Yeah.
like live show, and like people would book times, and we would hang out and eat pizza and tell stories. And we're not quite killing ourselves like that this go around. Where it's
We're
a
getting old,
24
man.
hour
We got
stretch.
kids now, and
But I'm loving this stream your heart out initiative, and I need to be streaming more. It's been a minute, so good to be here.
yeah, I think this is like I think the third one I've done, and it's kind of nice to get back into the swing of things too. Plus, I've like it's been nice to just get out and do it in different ways. Like the first one I did was stream from a location you're not used to, and I took our
Yeah,
dog on a walk, and then I think someone else was going to go live, but they ended up not being able to on, I think it was Valentine's Day actually. And Amelia, my daughter is on break. So, we did a craft and streamed that. So yeah, it's fun times to do different things as well.
right on. Yeah, when you and I first started doing video, did you ever think we would be on camera this much? We were always holding the camera and sitting in front of the screen editing.
That's,
We
that's a,
weren't we weren't the stars.
no, that's true. We kind of did joke around saying that, we started DJing because we didn't know how to dance. So we might as well just play the music then so you don't have to.
Yeah, I got two
Um,
left feet. So
I mean, it is kind of interesting how you start out behind the camera and then you just make your way in front. I remember, like I said, I'm still nervous every single time I push the go live button, but I don't know. You learn to laugh at yourself and just do it, right?
Yeah, my hair wasn't cooperating today, so I've got the beanie. It's cold. We're
Can't
gonna
say I
run
got the
with that.
switcher hat. Does that count?
There you go. On brand.
Ah, I gotta get that off. See, like you do things like that, like leave
It's
images over. Go eat them, Nick.
right.
Like this. Um, let's see. What other questions can I ask you? Can I? I'm gonna ask you a call back to the early days of Switcher. You were on a podcast and you were asked the question: if you were a sandwich, what sandwich would you be? Do you
Oh
remember your
man.
answer? And if
I
not,
I'm glad that you do because I have no
I don't
idea.
remember your
I
answer.
spend I spend so much time thinking about the future. I have a really hard time remembering stuff that's already happened.
Well, if you had to eat the perfect sandwich, like today for lunch, it's 1 o'clock for us, right?
Oh yeah.
What's
My
that
my
sandwich looking
go-to
like?
is Morris Deli here in Louisville, and it looks like a liquor store, but I don't think I've ever bought bourbon there. I only go for the sandwiches, and um, I've got a go-to that's like roast beef and turkey and pepper jack cheese and some banana peppers, a little bit of mayo on sourdough. That's my jam. You go to Morris
Nice.
Deli. When I have a me day, like you talk about personal care, I go get me a Morris Deli sandwich and then I go get me some pecan pie at Homemade Pie and Ice Cream Kitchen.
That yeah, it is right there too. Yeah, this is a spot again. Going back to the early days when we were had like a tiny little office and weren't far from Morristown. We'd go over there all the time. That was good stuff. You mentioned so you talked about looking into the future. Anything you're excited like what or maybe like I guess a new initiative that Switcher's done or
Ooh,
added or something you're
well,
looking
I
forward
do have
to.
my master plan notebook, but I
Ooh,
can't share anything of what's in it yet. I'm still writing, but no, we just had a really cool update around scheduling that makes it a heck of a lot easier to plan your upcoming
mm-hmm.
stream. And not just the next one, but like infinity. You can put in the title and description and all the destinations from where you want. And from the first screen and switcher, you're able to see those and jump right into the studio with everything set up and ready to go. So we've been doing this for a decade, and that's one of the most high traffic areas of the app is the outputs tab. You got to go there every time you want to stream. And up until now, people have had to find it, and they've had to make a lot of taps to set up their events. And a lot of times, it's happening like minutes before they get ready to go live. Even though there's been a version of scheduling for a while, you still had to go find it and make those jumps. I know toward the end of last year we had a bigger update where we redesigned that screen, and I think it's a lot easier and a lot faster. And it's native, so it's all built into the app. Uh, but this takes it a step further, where you can plan that next event, and all you got to do is punch it, and it opens the studio ready to go. So I know we've talked to a lot of churches where they'll have someone that's kind of the switcher pro that gets it set up and ready to go, but they might have volunteers that are like actually running it. And so something like this would make it really easy to schedule a couple weeks out ahead of time, and you could have someone show up and just tell them where to tap, and they're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah,
So
I a couple things I need to mention. First, you said we've been doing this for a decade, and I'm like, I kind of like, I don't know if it's like a wow, I'm old moment or like, oh my gosh, has it been that long? But yeah, 2014, it's coming up there. Yeah, for real. But yeah, I think we should really give Adam and Thomas, our designers, a shout out on that design. I've done it internally, but like externally as well. They put a ton of time into that, and I heard about the initiative of like redesigning that. I'm like, good luck. There's a lot there, but they nailed it. I think they, yeah, straight up knocked it out of the park.
yeah, I know there was another update not that long ago I was really excited about. It's maybe a bit invisible to most people, but anytime you record a video or you live stream with Switcher, we are now doing transcripts automatically
Mm,
behind the scenes on your device. So it's actually happening uh, through the Apple SDK on your phone. Never has to touch the internet. You could even record offline and still get the transcript. And then as soon as you're done, that's available to have attached to that recording that's a part of your library, or available for the video that people are going to watch on the Switcher player. And right now there's an option to export that, but there's some interesting things that we're going to be able to do with that down the road. So just
mm.
having that kind of automated and built in. I think we're used to seeing subtitles on Facebook and YouTube, but those are happening on those platforms.
Yeah.
And it might even be different, on YouTube versus Facebook. But here we've got that built into the switcher experience now, and it's we're gonna keep doing some things with it. There's another one I probably mentioned the last time I was on camera. I love. I got to work with Gabe, one of our other co-founders and former CTO at Switcher, on a project for EPTZ.
Hmm.
So, some of you are familiar with the DJI Osmo, where you can put your phone on the gimbal, and then from your iPad, you can move your finger around, and it makes the iPhone across the room move around. So it's like a really expensive EPTC experience, but just using your phone and like $100 DJI Osmo. Well, now we have a feature where you can take your phone, any phone, and it will actually enable the 4K sensor. And then from the iPad, you can kind of zoom in on that screen. It's still, the camera still sees everything, but you've got this little cropped window inside of it. And when you move your finger around the main device, it's moving that box around the screen. And so that's what your viewer sees. And in the most recent update for EPTC, we added presets. So you could
Hmm.
have one camera and you could set up a couple of those presets. I think it's really great for interviews. I've done a couple podcasts where I'll have one camera across from me, and you've got the wide shot, and then you've got a preset that's tighter on guest A and then the host. So you can kind of emulate three cameras with just the one device. And some of the first episodes I did with the same setup, I had three iPhones,
Hmm.
across the table
Yeah.
and the iPad in front of me. So it really cut down on a lot of the gear there. That one too is really good if that whatever subject you have framed is moving around a bit, and not that you have to active track or follow them the whole time, but even just being able to reposition the framing without having to move across the room and like physically move the camera or like reposition your tripod. I think it opens up a lot of really cool use cases. So that it's a little hidden, but I
Yeah.
got to work really closely on that one with Gabe, and I having a lot of fun with it. It's one I'm using a lot now.
Yeah. I agree. That has been a fun one to mess around with. Um, we're just about at time. I'll throw it back to you. Do you have any questions you want to ask or throw
Oh
in there?
man.
I'm afraid to do that because it could throw out some
I
random questions.
I could talk all day. No, I, I'm really happy to be on this video today. I've loved seeing our team really rally behind this idea of stream your heart out, and the streak. I think you said we're on day 18 now.
Mhm.
Uh, maybe this is something we do again, not just in February, but we've also seen some people in the community or the user group doing it as
Yeah.
well. And so that's been really cool to follow along with. I fully intended to do this myself individually, like go live every day. It turns out running a company, there's a lot of other things you have to do. So that shouldn't be an excuse. I wish I'd jumped in on this sooner, but if you're late to the party, it's never too late to start. Even though we're a little over halfway through the month, if you wanted to start streaming for a week straight, just as part of this challenge or kind of competition we're doing. Would love to see uh, what stories you will have to tell, and sharing your setups and talking about your community. Those are the things that get us fired up. Is just not only seeing what our customers are doing, but the people that they touch through the videos that they're able to make. So I know we've got this challenge to stream your heart out, every day in February. And some of us, didn't start on day one, myself included, but that shouldn't be a reason to not go ahead and get in on the action, and at least do a few lives between now and the end of the month. And if you can do a few in a row, get a little bit of a streak going. If it's 3 days, 5 days, a week, there's still time. So I'd say go give it a shot.
Yeah. I like the hardest part of going live, I think sometimes is just pushing the button. Like once you do it, it gets easy. Um, yeah, I don't. I'm not sure. I totally agree. Yeah, it's been fun following along with all these stream your heart outs, and yeah, I really enjoyed doing some of them earlier.
Yeah.
It's fun
Uh,
to kind of like take a step back. I mentioned this to Nick before we went live. It's like I'm so used to testing things, and I might set things up a certain way, but now that like we're actually going live and using it as a customer, it's an interesting way to look at things differently, and like write down notes, but like this didn't feel exactly right in this
Yeah.
situation. So, um,
Yeah, Dan does a lot of testing and QA, and we were getting ready for the stream and slacking back and forth, and I think you had like beta versions of the app, and you were like in our dev version of the server versus production, and like
I
had a
I'm
few
really
extra hoops to jump through that aren't normal for most folks.
unfortunately, yeah, like unfortunately, the what I had set up didn't have remote guest enabled on it, so I couldn't use that. But I was going to do something in the app and not mention it and see if somebody could picked up on it and said, "Wait, how did he do that?"
Now we'll
Like
have to
it's
do
like
another one.
maybe that's coming soon or something.
Um,
So
Yeah, there is some cool stuff that coming down the pipeline. I don't have exact dates on when they're going to be there. Don't want to go into a lot of details, but today in Switcher, you can make videos that look like TV. One of the things that's really special about Switcher is being able to not just point your camera at something, but put a logo on screen or a title, an overlay, a multi-view. And there's a lot of flexibility in how you can do that today. You can build those shots. We've got some stuff in the works that's going to make that a little easier. And so we'll leave it at that for today, but
mm,
some cool things coming soon. And I'll leave you with this nugget. But my wife started teaching at a school called the Village School, and a couple months ago she got a grant for a pet classroom pet. So she got a terrarium and had all the setup, but she's been holding out on actually getting whatever's going to go in the thing. And we took our kids to a herpetology convention this weekend. Did I say that right? It's turtles and snakes
yeah.
and lizards and frogs, and we came home with a hognose snake. Its name is Sir Hiss, and it's hanging out in her classroom. So I'm going to see if we can get her doing some streaming. We're going to make
We
this
should can
thing
we get
internet
like a
famous.
live like a 24-hour live stream on Sir Hiss?
Yeah, it's actually pretty cute. It's
What's
like
the
4 months old. It's a little baby hog nose.
what's the is that the name of the snake in Robin Hood, Disney's Robin Hood?
It
Is it
is,
Sir Hiss or
yes.
is it just Hiss?
I actually played that the other way. I was asking Whitney, like, what's the snake in Jungle Book? What's the snake in Robin Hood with the fox? And she goes, Sir Hiss. And so we
Okay, I'm
got
glad I picked
there.
up on that. That's my favorite
and
Disney movie, so
right on.
I
It's a
should
good
catch
one.
it.
You and
um,
me. Yeah. Don't ask me to sing, but I love that song.
yeah. I'm going to end with one more tip to give people because I like constantly am forgetting to remove assets from the screen. Like, I have the stream your heart out here. Like I always forget to remove them. I have every single one of my assets here like on a timer, so they'll go away automatically. You
Hmm.
can do that in the edits menu, and yeah, it's been really nice not having to remember to put them or push it to make it go away. Um, yeah, Nick, anything else? Or should we tell everyone thanks for tuning in? Thanks for watching. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I
let's hold there
see.
for today, but we'll do this again soon. And I know there's a lot more videos planned between now and the end of the month.
Yeah. We'll give one more shout out. I saw another comment come through, I think, hello from Colombia. Yeah. Well, I love
Awesome.
seeing people watch from different, different places. So, yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more of these coming down the pipeline. I guess there's 10 more days. So you got 10 more days to join us. All the prompts that we've been following are on our socials, so you can find them there. It's been a lot of fun. It's a nice way to get creative in a different way. So definitely recommend watching it or checking that out, doing it yourself, or tuning in tomorrow for whatever the next prompt and next live stream is going to be.
All
Nick,
right,
thanks
I'll
for
catch you
joining
later.
me. I know you're really
Yeah.
busy.
No, we'll have to go to Whirling Tiger. They're doing coffee now.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'll put something on your calendar. We'll
Yeah.
talk soon.
Take care,
All
Nick,
right.
and thank you all for tuning in and watching.
See ya.